I think Atleti are better than we are giving them credit for. And also, the same could be true about Barcelona in terms of their recent form, that the indictment is there on them, that the high line, the teams are starting to figure them out. And also that clinical edge that they've had in the first 18 match weeks, we're not seeing as much. A big reason, I think, if Lamine Yamal played on this match, probably would have gotten it done. Atleti, they're feeling the vibes right now. And these front three right here, they are the key reasons. Two of them, some of the best summer signings in La Liga and European football. And this man in the middle right here, he is a magician, but this front three, man, we are not talking enough about them.
The ironic part is that often they don't play the three of them together. It's usually one or the other.
More times than not.
He took off Griezmann to bring in Sorloth in the game. And Chuck, I wonder what's the tone of this game, whether it was an Atlético Madrid win or a Barcelona loss. How do you interpret it? I'll tell you quickly how I think before we start off the conversation, because the victory was a very Atlético Madrid DNA type of win written all over it. Cholo Simeone adjusted, especially when the game was at 1-1 and he saw Barcelona coming, because Barcelona just hit a different gear and they were playing really well. And you could sense that they were going to get a second or third goal. He did 5 in the back. He went 5-4-1. At one point, he moved Rodrigo de Paul out left, didn't like it, moved Julian out as almost like a left winger. And Barcelona didn't find the spaces. And Atletico knew that they were going to get their chances. So, although Barcelona played very well, it feels like you have to say that this is an Atletico Madrid result, despite people not really liking this sort of style.
Mm-hmm. So what I will say is Barca lost this game. At the same time, Atletico did enough to win this game in the second half. The first half was all Barcelona. There was not a single shot from Atletico Madrid in the first half. So you weathered the storm. In a way, Barcelona should have put Atletico Madrid out in the first half. They didn't. In the second half, Simeone said, okay. I think they also got bailed out because Jimenez, the right center back, is dreadful. And I just don't think he has enough quality. He gets injured. They bring in Alexander Witsel. And Witsel also is past it. But he did a good enough job.
He fouled. Who did he foul? Like the very first play that Axel Witsel had.
Lewandowski.
He fouled him at
just
the end
outside the box.
Like 3 seconds into coming on.
Rafinha has a breakaway. Lobs the keeper, hits the post.
Pedri, to make it, that would have been 2-0.
2-0. Pedri missed within. Oblak had some incredible saves.
Fermin to start.
Over the course of this season, they've had 8 goals scored at the 86th minute. To me, the question is that sustainable? To have these Angel Correa goals in the 90-plus minutes, Sorloth in 90-plus, Griezmann 90-plus. It just feels like to win this league, to win, La Liga, to be in the conversation for Champions League, I just don't see this team, given how they're trying to win these games in the last minute, have this be sustainable to be able to do that.
And we are talking about the team at the top of the table in La Liga. And while I agree with you, it's been a hodgepodge as far as how they got here. Watching, especially the end of this match, whenever they knew Barcelona was going to have a high line. They knew Barcelona were going to attack with every player they have except the goalkeeper. And there were these moments where they would get the ball back and they would spring to attack. They would spring in a counter, and pretty effectively. I was pretty surprised at how much energy everyone had towards the end of the match. Also including Simeone, you could see him willing them to do that. And I think it's finding those moments. And I think you know that as a striker, there are those times where it's like, okay, we weren't the best team on the pitch, even though Barcelona didn't play very well either. They weren't the best team on the pitch, Atletico Madrid, for large portions of this match, but there were openings. And they took those openings. And at the end of the day, isn't that kind of the mettle of a championship team?
But how often do you think these openings are going to continue?
I agree with you.
Right.
I agree with you.
So, against Barcelona, I think it's very difficult to go toe-to-toe
at home.
At Barcelona at home.
Have you seen Barcelona this season?
Hold on.
Have you seen them in the last 6 matches?
Against Atletico Madrid played very well. Barcelona, despite losing, and this might sound contradictory, they had a good game against Atletico Madrid.
Like you showed one of your plays, Casado gets in the back and flicks it to
that was bad. That was a bad moment.
So it leads me to this. We're talking about Barcelona. We give zero. You get 0 points for moral victories. You get 0 points for aesthetics. You get 3 points for getting the result. And right now, Barcelona are not getting results as of late. Yes, this has been something. We're going to get Barcelona debate about what their struggles are, but they made crucial errors when it mattered most against an Atleti side that were there for the taking. For 60 minutes, that game should have been 2-3-0. And we talk about the Fermin Lopez chance. That's also down to good goalkeeping. Yes, he should put that away, but Jan Oblak, 6 saves on the day. You got to give goalkeeper a credit where credit is due. The Rafinha miss, that is something that's been symptomatic for Barcelona for as great of a season as he's having in the last couple matches. Those goals that have been going in the last 3 matches, we've seen him hit the crossbar. We've seen him come close. For Atleti, what I love is that Cholo, a season ago, this would have been 1-1. Get 1 shot on target, get your goal, pack up. We are happy. We're not even going to go for it. This is a side that because they spent money in the right ways, Julian Alvarez has been an absolute hit. He's a player that's showing that Manchester City made the wrong decision for not valuing him, and City are being punished for that right now. But he's an absolute hit because he works his, I can't say the word, his backside off.
No, you can.
Okay, good. He works his ass off on both sides of the ball. Thank you, Nico. I needed that.
So scandalous.
I know. He is that selfless attacker that every team wants on their team. And Alexander Sorloth, this is a guy that was a Pichichi Award winner and is coming off the bench. We glorify John Duran for what he's doing for Aston Villa. This guy's got more goals as a substitute than John Duran. He leads all of Europe in goals scored as a substitute. So you've got a guy that's bought in. You've got 2 strikers that's bought in on both sides of the ball. You've got a team right now that know that they are the best defensive side in La Liga, with Simeone sides that go on and win titles in La Liga. Defensively, they don't give you much. And yes, they gave Barcelona chances, but at the end of the day, it still says 1 goal on the score
kept
sheet.
them in the game, and that's something that Barcelona need to figure out how to close out a match, because they kept the door open for Atleti to do what they did at the closing seconds. And to make a point about Sorloth, I don't know how they convinced this 29-year-old to play off the bench, to come into the squad and not be the starter.
Well, I don't think in his mind he was going to be in that role.
I think as soon as you get Julian Alvarez, you start to question, like, what's going on? They seem to be finding a way to not only make it work, but keep everyone happy. Simeone is putting together the pieces for what I think could be a real championship team.
He has enough players and enough different profiles to compete in every single competition that they're playing in. And it's not just
full squad, the most talented in Europe.
Obviously,
full squad.
Obviously, when you're a team like Atletico Madrid that's paying the manager the amount of money that you're paying and that you've put a squad together, you want to demand to win La Liga, you want to demand to win Champions League, but that's, I think, unrealistic for most teams, the large majority of the teams in the world. But Atletico Madrid has what it takes to take this title, especially because you look at those front 3, and like we said, they don't play often. How critical was Sorloth in allowing Atletico Madrid to breathe in that game on Saturday?
It was massive.
Because he's the only guy that pressure's on, boom, lump it long to the big guy. You dumb it down, and he can give you that time on the ball that you need. That a couple extra seconds.
So the question after this game is Atletico Madrid that good, or is this more of an indictment on Barcelona?
I think Atleti are better than we are giving them credit for. And also, the same could be true about Barcelona in terms of their recent form, that the indictment is there on them, that the high line, the teams are starting to figure them out. And also that clinical edge that they've had in the first 18 match weeks, we're not seeing as much. A big reason, I think, if Lamine Yamal played on this match, probably would have gotten it done.
Yeah, but we're entering in the woulda, coulda, shoulda.
But look, at the same time, there is something that has stuck with Barcelona. And I said it before in terms of the breakdowns. When you look at the mistakes that are being made, the confidence that was there defensively for Barcelona in the midfield, because these are the small details and the fine margins that separate champions from teams that come in second, the teams that, we started well. They lose their focus when it matters most in the last 3 matches in La Liga. It's almost as if, you know what? That mistake doesn't matter. We'll outscore a team 4-3.
I think there's a lot we can talk about Barcelona, and I think the most important part is, if we're going to look at this match from a bird's eye view, is Atletico Madrid took a puncher's chance. Other boxer dropped his guard. got knocked out.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Real Madrid is stuttering, hasn't really figured out how to put it all together, seems to be figuring it out now. Maybe it's too late, maybe it's not. We'll know towards the end of the season.
It's not too late.
Barcelona, 100% hitting a stutter right now. They shifted gears and they missed one. Atletico Madrid took over. They're in pole position.
It's still very...
And, by the way, taking 3 points away from Barcelona at home is not something we should just look at easily.
It's still very early in the season, and there's a lot to be said. And look how fine the margins are. If that last ball doesn't go in, we're talking about Atletico Madrid again doesn't win at Barcelona. That's the beauty of football. And I think it would have been business for Atletico Madrid to walk away from the Camp Nou, top of the table with a point. And Atletico Madrid was looking for that, knowing that they were going to get that one chance, and they capitalized.
Did you see when the ball hit the net?
A la Cholo Simeone.
They were in shock.
It was epic. Cojones, huevos, Cholo Simeone football. I'll take it. And if they win, I'm going to be very happy for Cholo Simeone.